Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is the ghost of Christmas past. And this time of year, we have an inclination, probably either through Christmas or into New Year's, to be taking stock of our lives. And what we're going to talk about today is the opportunity to chart a new path at any given moment. So before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together, vigorously rub your hands together to feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the motion, the tickling and tingling when you stop. And allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables us to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're talking about the ghost of Christmas past. And this time of year is rife with reflection for so many of us, looking at the year that's passing, looking at this, where we are in our lives, where we're headed. And um, it reminds me of a very, very powerful process that I had the gift of having done in a program I was doing. I was in a program called Visionary Business Mastery, and there was this process called the Dickens process, and it was essentially taking a chapter from the Christmas Carol, the story The Christmas Carol, where Scrooge is visited by the ghost of Christmas past. Oh, well, three ghosts, wasn't it? And in looking at the ghost of Christmas past, he had a reckoning, and then he got to see the present, and then it was ghost of Christmas future. Maybe I should have called this the ghost of Christmas future. But I think that the ghost of Christmas future doesn't really exist without the ghost of Christmas past, where we have the opportunity to have a reckoning, to look at where we are in our lives at the moment and what got us to this place, and whether this place is where we want to continue to live from. And it's an interesting and powerful exercise, actually, to be projecting into the future what our lives might look like if we continue with the status quo, if we continue with doing things the way we do them, focusing on the things we focus on, and essentially continue with the status quo. And the truth is that at any moment, we have the opportunity to make different choices. At any moment, we have the opportunity to create a new future for ourselves in the choices that we make right now, right here. And the key to this conversation is the notion that we make choices, because it often feels like, or can feel like, we have no choice, or that we're not even conscious of making any choices, that we're just kind of on automatic pilot going through life unexamined. And one of the benefits of this time of year, the new year, is, although it's arbitrary, it's kind of a generalized uh, arbitrariness, that, well, it's the new year, so it's time to reset. It gives us that collective momentum of the time to be able to look at our lives, to look at our choices, to look at our trajectories, and to consider potential new options, to wake ourselves up, shake ourselves out of the automatic nature of our day-to-day lives, to reevaluate and to look at what kinds of intentions we have for ourselves, and to recognize that we have the ability to shift and change our experience and our trajectory and our potentials at any time. That what it takes is standing back, and sometimes the ghost of Christmas past is unsettling to look at. And what I mean by that is sometimes looking at our pasts, looking at our lives, the trajectories of our lives from the past into the present, into the future, looking at that trajectory. And it is all a fabrication. It is all a function of the interpretation that we have. We can paint a very rosy picture. We could paint a very dark picture. And the truth is that the real picture some probably lays somewhere in between, a combination of joy and sorrow, of triumph and tragedy, right? That it's not black or white, so to speak. It's more living in a spectrum of experience. And we can also look at the framework that we're creating for ourselves, and to recognize that we have, at any given moment, truly, we have an opportunity to reshape ourselves, our perspective, our potentials. Because as we shift our perspective, we do shift our ability to even perceive different opportunities. So if I have a positive expectation of life. What I will be on the lookout, what I'm tuned to perceive is these positive opportunities or expansive opportunities. Rather, if I perceive life as opportunity rather than obstruction, it is going to determine what I'm tuned to and what I'm going to experience. It doesn't mean that if I'm tuned to opportunity that there won't be any obstacles, but I will be viewing those obstacles as I will be looking to farm those obstacles for the opportunity that they present. So it creates a very different outcome. And when we look at our or we project a future, we can't really look at our future, but we can project our future, and we do often through the lens of worry and doom and gloom. We often project a worst case scenario. But if we are to be looking at our future or creating, what we're really doing is generating our future, we can use that projection as a motivation to make new choices, to step into a greater, more authentic expression of ourselves, to regenerate and recreate ourselves ongoingly. That so many times, so much we, or so often, we will find ourselves in a less than comfortable or desirable position, and then we project that forward like that's how life is going to be forever. And we do know when we step back that change is something that is inevitable, and that we can and we do change. And the thing about that is that we have some ability to navigate. We, by choice, that we can shift our way of being in such a way that different opportunities make themselves available to us. In other words, that we have the ability to perceive different opportunities based on essentially on our mindset. So we may or may not have the opportunity to determine the circumstances of our lives, but we do have the opportunity to shift our way of being in relation to them. And we do have the opportunity to set intentions, to develop a sense of clarity about the framework that we want to live into, or even the intentions of what we want our lives to look like. And in setting those intentions, we're creating a framework and a context for opportunities to unfold. What we're doing really when we set an intention is creating a field, an energetic field that kind of allows us to guide ourselves and to be guided into alignment with that intention. And fulfillment of it. What I have noticed is that when we take ownership of a purpose or of intention, that the world, the universe conspires to support us. And there are times when I have set goals, for example, and I have worked and worked and worked and pushed and toward that goal and made myself utterly miserable, have often achieved the goal, but then was unable to feel triumphant in that, and just crossed the finish line limping. Whereas in setting intentions, I find that the time has more flexibility. I have more freedom to live into that intention rather than driving and pushing and disciplining. It's not that I have anything against discipline, or practice. Um, the two words feel very different, right? I take this on as a practice versus I take it on as a discipline. Discipline is sort of force, where for me, a practice is power versus force kind of idea. Um, the idea here is to live into life rather than doing life, to actually be engaged and present and appreciating life and looking at our imagined future to see if we can reimagine it so that it's in alignment with our authentic soul, that it's a greater expression of that soul's calling, that we step beyond the small self that is very easy to allow ourselves to be, to step into a greater fulfillment of what's possible. Like we create this magnificent life. We have the ability to create this life as a magnificent life. Wherever we are in any moment, we can exercise our choice and our intention. We can make different choices. We can make life affirming choices for ourselves, for our engagement with life in any moment. And there's tremendous power in looking at what is this life going to be like if we project it forward. It's an imagined exercise, or it's an exercise of imagination. But if we look at our lives as they exist in this moment and extrapolate it out a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, to the end of your life, 30 years, 50 years, 70 years, whatever it is, to the end of your life, is that the life that you want to have lived? And what will have happened to your dreams? And how will you hold your body? And what would you speak of as your life? And do you really choose? Because right now we have that moment. Do you really choose that life? Or how might you create a trajectory that you could stand at the end of your life and look back and say, boy, that was a good ride? That's what my dad said when he was 91 and looked at his life. He said it was a good ride. And I encourage all of us to look at, where is your life headed? What's the trajectory you're on? And what choices are you making now that have the power to reshape your future and the potentials that you can fulfill, the joy that you can have, the love that you can have, the adventures? When we create a context, a framework that supports and invites those dreams to form into reality for you. So you might want to give that exercise a shot where you project into your future. Imagine the experience of your body, of the dreams unfulfilled. Imagine the state of your heart, your relationships. Allow yourself to go into the space of the disappointments that may occur if you continue along the path that you're on. Allow that so that it can provide you with the motivation to change, with a visceral, emotional experience that can act as a catalyst to step into new commitments, new intentions, a new framework that then provides the shape or the context for you to live into, so that we can be forever lifting ourselves into a greater experience of life, greater fulfillment, greater expression, greater love, greater appreciation, greater engagement, greater presence. It's available to all of us at any moment. It's just that this time of year invites it more uh, collectively, given that we're coming up to the end of the year. So take a chapter from the Christmas Carol and the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future to allow yourselves to step into your fullest, most authentic expression. And that's it for today. My name is Mira Rubin, and I go live here each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to please like, follow, and share Enlightened World Network and me. The links are in the description. And as always, it's a tremendous privilege and pleasure to have this opportunity to share in these morning musings about what it is to be human. So until next time, so much love to you.